Okay. Hi. Okay. All right, so that's working. Excellent. So today I did talk a little bit about this during the Minecraft stream. Um, but there's a lot of work to do for the project revamp. Am I in a VC currently? Ducky asked me. No, I'm not. So what I probably should do, if I really wanted to, is go into the development public voice channel. But either way, so there is a vast scripting need in a SoNY because all of the scripts that we have in the game have to be looked at, evaluated, redone, and all of that. So for the old vehicles, I'm not really going in and changing anything because it's not worth my time to fix the scripts on the old vehicles and continually iterate over them, because most of the vehicles now that are in the game are going to be redone at some time or replaced. For example, Ladder 8 just got a new rig. We're starting to see some new tillers come out, so there's that. I'm sure Ladder 20 won't be too far behind. So yeah, so a lot of stuff's getting replaced in real life, so the game should try to reflect that. And we have obviously a lot of new engines coverage area. So that's where I need to finish working on that project. But taking a look at the systems and the scripts that make this game actually function is very important, because this is the entire backbone. So, for example, I mean, visually speaking, this is what most of the people playing the game will see. This is what most of the people playing the game know. What you don't see is all of the features that work in the background to make this game run, number one, and number two, run well, and number three, add all these features for the players to have in the game. And it's simple things. Simple things, like just the ability to have a keybind that opens the garage doors on the base. That is a huge undertaking as far as getting that done, because not a lot of other communities, in fact, I have yet to see another community that has done the same thing. I know Ducky was working on replicating our system, but yeah, it's very interesting. So my first focus is consolidating all of the join information that occurs to the players when somebody joins the server. Because right now we have a lot of scripts that are running different calls to the same function. So, yeah. But if I switch over to the other Roblox studio, which is this one. So some people were asking about what the revamp map looks like, and here it is, because I don't know if I've shared it during stream yet. I might have. But so far, the focus is from Park Avenue and 57th Street all the way down to, this would be 2nd Avenue. I might have said 1st in the Minecraft stream, but the same point still stands. 1st and 47th. Somewhere around there. So this bunch of blocks here. All right. So with that, we have some API calls to our Trello. I'm working on simplifying these a little bit. And then player join functions. So this is really cool because I'm trying to work with a system that can use this one player added function call instead of having like 20 different scripts that all use the same one. Trying to consolidate and reduce the amount of scripts that are calling this function. Because now every time that a player joins the game, you're going to have a huge lag spike because all of these different scripts have to run at the same time, when they could all just be run in one script instead of 10 different ones. So instead of doing 10 different scripts calling the same function, I'm going to call the function once and create threads to run each of the features that I need this function to do. So for example, the first one is for when the player is added, I want to give them a badge for when they join the game. This is just a slightly redone version of the current system. Basically copy and paste for some of the existing stuff where it checks to see, oh, do you have the badge? If not, then here's your badge. So this just marks what version of the game that you've played. So this has existed since the pre-alpha. In the alpha, so pre-alpha I have titled as early access. This existed in alpha, which is the current map that's open, and will exist in, I'm going to nickname this map beta, or sometimes I'll call it V2. Just based on the alpha versions, it actually lines up really well because we ended off on like alpha 0.1.8, technically 9 because I did some small updates without really logging anything professionally. It was more of just minor bug fixes and things like that, trying to increase the efficiency before going through this process. So yeah, sometimes I'll call this version 2 because I'll probably dub this beta 0.2.0 just to continue the version numbers from alpha. So yeah, you might hear me call it beta or version 2 for the revamp. Okay, so this just is a simple script that gives them the badge, and this creates a thread. So if for whatever reason this thread, so this just outsources the code. So I'm using one function and then running multiple pieces of code at the same time. So this will create a multi-threaded program. So this one will say, okay, let's do the badge check, and it will run that. If there's any issues, this will not break the whole script, which is exactly what I'm trying to go for here. Because I've seen systems where they've consolidated the entire player added functionality, like any script that would call this function, into one system. The problem with that is if one thing doesn't work, your entire script is fucked. So this coroutine system has error handling. So that way, if one of these, we're outsourcing the code, and if one of those code pieces breaks, the rest of the script is fine. So at least if this, let's say this badge can't connect to the server or something like that, for whatever reason, there's some sort of issue, it will run this coroutine, it will run this thread, and continue to go to the next one, and also run that. So if this throws an error, this one's already running on its own, this second one. So in that case, it's going to run all of these different pieces of code at the same time. If one of them errors out, the other one is not dependent on waiting for this to finish. These will run at the same time. So then it just prints out it creates a coroutine for it and then prints out any errors or issues that might occur. So I have this this function that handles any errors. So if there is an issue, it will tell me that there is one, and then I can look into it further. This did have a print statement before. I just changed it over to a warn. I was considering putting an error, but I don't want it to suddenly end the script. I could probably put it on error so it would show up on red in the output. But I mean, it's more of just a warning, like, hey, this thing didn't work for some reason. Maybe it didn't connect to the internet or something like that. Maybe there was a network issue. So yeah, these are my current pieces of puzzle here. What I do need to do is add the player leave function. So if a player leaves the game, I also want to handle all of that through a very similar process as the player join. Because although I don't think that we have a lot of things that depend on a player leaving. What the hell happened to this script? Also, is this image still? Let me go to view, toolbox, house, and then just open up one of these and then copy that. This page cannot. So they took it down. So that's why the wasted screen's not loading anymore. I might have to upload that on my own. Actually, wait, let me test this. I don't know why I did play here, because it's still going to bring me to one of the spawn locations. So, yeah, that's why the death screen has been not happy. Okay, so if I reset, it comes up with the bar, but not the text. Do I have the text? I want to check my computer. I don't. So I probably got this from somebody who archived it. So what I'm going to do is try and find an image. Is there a high quality one? I just realized I didn't go over to the other place. I'm going to have to like flip back and forth between studios today. So I might forget. Oh, this one's really small. You know what? Actually, let me save this image as a. Where do I save it? So let's go to the textures. Wasted text. Okay, so I'm currently working in paint.net right now. I'm just going to go to font finder. Here's what I'm looking at .net. I don't know how well what the font will handle this because this is very particular. Yeah. Nope. We're good. Somebody match the font. Price down black is the on this. Okay. Now let me just check and see which display gives me the highest. So this one is the transparent one, 1982. This one is 3040. So we definitely want the higher resolution one. Okay. So if I take this color. So here's a quick graphic design tutorial while I'm at it. So what I just did is I used the magic wand tool, hold shift and click in the white space. I'm at 50% tolerance before doing so as well. Okay. So now this selects all the white space, because if I just clicked here, it wouldn't include a white space between some of these characters. So now I'm going to go to the rectangle select tool, And you can't see that toolbar menu. Interesting. I'm going to go to the rectangle select tool. Hold Control and right click and drag. So now I have this. Now I'm going to go on a new layer. Hold Shift to paint all space. Image crop to selection. Nope, image crop to selection. There we go. All right. So now we look like this. So now I'm going to increase the canvas size again just to give me some space. And this could be a generic size. Doesn't have to be anything particular because we're going to scale it back down. Object, outline object. I have like 4 different outline object plugins and I use them all interchangeably because they all basically look the same. Now I don't know how wide I should make. 25 looks okay. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do 25. So now I'm going to shift click again with the magic wand tool. Select right click and or control right click and drag. Drop selection. File, save as, and as. Always put the font name when I do one of these designs so that I can find the font style here. So wasted text. Font was priced down black. So I can save this. Go into the death screen GUI, which I don't know. Is it in replicated? No. I think it's in server storage. Error system. Dead screen isn't start of GUI. Okay. That way it just comes up. I just enable it when you die. That makes sense. It's always there. Is it kind of stupid because it's always there? Yeah. Because, I mean, you really want to load it only when it's needed. But then you don't have to you don't want to do the logic of dragging it or of duplicating it, cloning it into the player's thing. Yeah. I see why I made that choice. So I'm looking for the... This says image text. Sound ID. This is created dynamically. Probably could just add the sound itself. So when sound plays, it waits to a certain point, makes the frame visible. So under the frame, I have image text, which is the image ID, which should match the other script that I had up that I just accidentally closed. So that is 324 ending in 052. 324 ending in 052. Okay, so this is it. So if I go to the asset manager instead of upload, and I'm not showing the right thing again. So let me go to this one. I can upload the file. Or, nope, that went through. Now what I have to do is what happened? What? So if I paste this into... Oh my God. They changed the length of asset IDs to that? That's crazy. Either that or it's been that long. Okay. So now, if the player dies, this should load. I don't know if it's going to be stretched out or not. Whoa. Whoa. That has to be scaled down. Okay. Enable. The frame is not visible until here. Image text. So this is half of the size. So yeah, it was definitely scaled up from before. So in that case, so I need to change the size. This is 1 for the X. Should I make it 0.7? Does that look more reasonable? Let's shrink it down a little bit more. It's gonna be a little bit messy on different screen sizes. I think that's okay. I think we can live with this. So change visible back, change false. I think that's how it's set by default. Cool. Now if I try it on a different screen size, this one is a little bit drastic. So we see the UIs, the other UI scale very set. Not terrible. I'll take that. And the respawn button's still visible. All right. Yeah, I can work with that. All right, so that's one thing that's been fixed is the text on the death screen, at least until Roblox decides that it wants to take it down later. Guaranteed that that's going to be the case. So, bug fixes at their finest. So, go to view properties again so I can get that list back up. I know I have the temporary tool UI. Yeah, that's right here. Team giver. This checks to see if the player who gets this system is on the team. I do have a lot of redundancy when it comes to stuff like that because I want to be very, very strict with like, if anybody does a glitch or something like, or an exploit where it still sort of locks down what you can and can't do. So when I was in New York City, I think a month ago, sometime last month, I want to say. They changed, like Engine 54 Ladder 4, they did a lot of work on their building now because this is all brick with like a metal roll-up gate instead of the wood door, and the picket fence is not there anymore. And this is actually finished now. It matches the rest of the building, this little like wooden temporary expansion. So, I mean, the station's been under renovation for a long time because you've seen the dark colored mesh holding all the bricks in. So yeah, they've been doing a lot of work on that firehouse. Impressive, but past while I was there, and wow, they changed a lot of that. So I do need to change the spawners. because we have two different spawners that do the same thing, just insert vehicles facing two different directions. And we don't need that. I need to find a way to C-frame the cars so that I can rotate them in a particular direction, but I might need to set a primary part, and that's going to be tricky. So I need to find a way how to rotate the model before inserting. So that's going to be one of the other fixes. Our spawning system goes into new game official. But what I have been focused on is any join things. So this one is remove packages. So I could probably turn this into one of my coroutine functions. This script is depreciated, copied to team handler to consolidate scripts and create less player added instances. So I've been working on this for a long time as far as reducing the amount of stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, all of this is what handles all my team stuff. And here is the same package handler. So on player added, this just removes any special package the players go back to being. Because I want all the characters in the game to be consistent, so I have to remove like any special packages and things. Look as I'll take Mano County for example. Like noobs on the team have packages on for character mesh. The uniforms do not look. It just looks terrible. Ours actually look pretty good with different character modifications, but yeah, I do want that consistency between the characters. So when a character is added, I want to go into the character and find any character meshes, get rid of them. Is there a time that we need to find that information again? No. But for those of you who don't know, I have a Boombox Game Pass on the SoNY game for testing. So if you see when I play the game, Boombox in my inventory, this is why. And it's just for the sake of testing how and getting used to how Game Passes work, so we can implement some stuff later down the line. This is just the framework for it. Call this one remove player package. Package. Okay. Script. Let me switch back. Stream output. So the script that we're going to be working on need this code. Now, before I implement anything, I just need to take. So the Boombox Game Pass only requires information from the player, because it just checks the player on the Roblox end to see if they have the Game Pass, and then gives it to the player backpack. So it doesn't need anything for the character at all because the backpack logic handles all of that. Here, however, for remove player packages, it looks like we don't need any reference to the player itself. We just need a reference to the character. Let's just say this function removes any mesh packages that a player may have. On their avatar. We'll say character. Okay. So this is important. I've learned this over the course of years of working on the game and such. The importance of labeling what your functions do and adding as many comments as possible to describe in reasonable amount of comments. Like don't just add comments for every little thing, but make it short, sweet, to the point, essentially. But be descriptive as far as what it does, and focus on that. It's confusing, but like just write a comment that emphasizes what it does in the simplest way possible, and make sure that it's easily understandable. So, just a quick description of what the function does. I do that above every one of these functions, so I know what to reference this. And then if there's any special, like this function checks to see if the player has a beta badge. If they don't have the badge, then the script will provide it. Something like that. And so in this case, I said this function removes any mesh packages that a player might have on their character. Wonderful. So I don't need any of this logic, because we're strictly using this. So we're going to get the character, and if we iterate through the character, I'm going to switch this to iPairs. So we're using the iterator. Iterate through the character, and if the class name is equal to character mesh, then we get rid of that. So here's a question. If you spawn in with packages into the game, don't they go underneath the actual models? Let me test this. So on my avatar on Roblox, I'm going to... I don't have to comment anything out here because this... What the hell is that? Apparently there's a game called 675 plus Law Enforcement and Emergency Outfits being recommended to me. Interesting. So let me go to my avatar. And let me give myself some kind of package. Yeah, so let me modify torso, leg, missing one. Head and body. I think it's just under left leg that I don't have selected. So now my character looks very, very different. So if I go into the game, we should see that. Yes, we do. So what is this under? This is a mesh. Oh dear. I see. So I'm going to have to do a comparison for both R6 and R15. I know I'm going to focus a lot of this game on R15, but I want to at least have some some adaptability to be able to handle both if something goes wrong or changes. So without to remove a couple of them. That looks like. So I've removed the torso and the right leg. So we see the difference between those two very clearly. So what happens with the torso? The lower torso's mesh ID is this, which should be made by Roblox. And then the 105, 1109. I see. So I'm going to have to get all of these numbers. Because now for an R15 model, each of these is text-based. So for head, there's a mesh ID. So this is interesting. First, I should check to see what the rig type is. So if it is R15, then I need to do something. Else, if it's R6, then I'll need to do something different. So I'm going to have to copy all of those mesh IDs. But I do need to add some kind of check if, for whatever reason, one of these parts is not loaded, then I'm going to have a problem. I doubt that this would be the case, but I also want to be sure. So what I mean by this is, if for whatever reason one of the body parts on the player is not loaded or present, I don't want the script to break. So I might need to check to see if each one is present. Yeah. That's going to suck. So let me quickly take notes of everything. Workspace player. So I have all of these parts that are mesh. How many parts is that? Say how many things I have selected. 15 items. So an R15 character has 15 ligaments, we'll say, or not so much that, but segments. We'll say segments. Probably the better word for it. An R15 has characters 15 segments. So for each of those segments, I'm going to have to get the mesh. I was hoping it would autofill there, but it doesn't have it because it's not running. Okay, so let me just kind of pseudocode this for a second. So we have head, left foot. Notice how this is labeled V1. It's interesting. They do have V2 labels. This one will be left hand. And then I'm going to copy this when I finish. And also, if I can reuse any of these meshes, that's what I really want to know. Left lower arm. Some of these might be duplicates of the other one, if there's some level of symmetry. Left lower leg. And there's probably an easier way to do this that I don't know about yet. But I'll stick with this for now. Left upper arm. It's a little bigger, so it's visible. And then select this, copy this. If I see any patterns, then I want to take note of that. These are all different so far. Okay, lower torso. And right foot now. 8-2. So this is different than left foot, which is 3-9. Not good. Because that also means that the rest of these are completely different from each other. There's no duplication of the meshes. So we're loading 15 different meshes for every character. Wow. Roblox R15 at its finest. What's happening? Hi. Right now I'm currently programming for the Project Revamp. SoNY V2. This is the problem that I had with this is the problem that I had with R6 is that it didn't have mesh IDs for the models. So trying to remove packages was actually somewhat more complicated than this, because now I can just set it to all of these to one ID, one particular ID. All right, so I have all these variable names. Could I probably put them in a table? Yeah. Or some sort of a dictionary, because it's basically a key value pair. I do notice that all of these are the same. How do you set up gear and stuff? That's one of the other things that I'm going to have to get to for this part of the project. It's also... So all of these have all the same code. So this... So... I'm going to change everything local, so it is accepting of all. Um... Hmm. Let me go on the Creator Hub. Okay. So I think I can do. I don't need to save the whole thing because all of these are. I could just save them. Then I can go from here. I think this is the way to go about it. What I do need is a copy of the introduction. This. Save it as temp string. There we go. All right. So now I just do this. And the reason why I'm setting it up in this way, because my hope is that I can iterate through this and just do a for loop to find the information. Right. Let me make the spacing the same. You're upset because you don't have a comp. So just do these. All right, and for each of these, replace it with bracket and quote. So replace next. There we go. All right, for the reverse bracket, replace it with quote reverse bracket. So from this one, oh crap. Okay. Get rid of all these. Nope, not all. One stays. Very well. I'm going to make this nice and neat. All this jargon. Tab for format. I think I'm onto something because then I can just iterate through this dictionary, searching by the name of the item, checking to see if it's there. Right now. Okay. There we go. There we have our list. So that was a lot of data to grab. So now what I can do is for the character, if I find said we want to iterate through the length of this. It should be this. right? Hmm. Find first child. No, so in this case, it's just character, find first child. Equal to R15 mesh dictionary at B. So that should be a string value. So if character find first child is not equal to nil. So if we can find this, and it should be tilde equals Lua. If we can find the name of this and it's not null as far as our search, then set the mesh ID. Local character part equals nil. Now I'm creating this outside the for loop for the sake of memory. And then I can just issue new assignments to it in the for loop. Character part equals this. And then here I just say if character part is not equal to. Is New York a real place? No, it's fake. So if character part is not equal to nil, then oh, the script just figured out what I'm trying to do. Character part dot mesh ID, something along those lines. I'll double check that a second. This dot dot. So I want to concatenate this code with this text. So this would be something along these. So for key value in pairs, I want to find the key and get the value. Yep, I think that makes sense. Don't know what the mesh ID is supposed to be called. So go here. Mesh ID, capital M, capital I. I think I had it right. Yeah. Did I have any errors with this? Boombox tool cannot be located. See, so this works because I don't have a boombox tool. It puts out a warning, and I know that there's an issue. And it didn't break anything else. Okay, sorry about that. So we're concatenating this string with this value. So I think this should work. And if this worked previously, then keep it. I don't even know if it worked previously. So, yeah, I find the I find each part of the character, set it to the appropriate mesh, and that would be it. All right. So no errors, no issues by the look of it. Oh wait, no, never mind. This is not how we test. I haven't even called the function. Oh man. So I need to add this in the character added because the character needs to be loaded into the game for this to work. So local coroutine 03 equals coroutine.create. So I'm going to make a new coroutine for the function like so. And success comma result is the output of the coroutine resume function 403. Handle any outputs 403 and provide the success and result from the previous. Okay. I can test it. So I didn't have any output or issues, and the boombox giver still works, and the badge giver still works. So we know that that's okay. So let me put on all those packages that I had on before. And they have not been removed. So why is that? Why does this not work? So first, I need to make sure that the function is being called. So, package remover. So if I run this, I should see output for package remover, and I do. So we do know that it is running. Da-dum. Our rig type is definitely R15. I don't need the temp anymore. I don't know if this is even going to output because it's in the coroutine. I could try to call the function directly just for testing for now. Print. Found the car part. Yeah, okay. So let me just comment this out for a second and just call it straight up. This is the risky method because if it errors, then it would break everything else. No errors, but also no output. So something is not working. It's not getting here. So what is my humanoid rig type? I think that's under humanoid. rig type R15, and there's only R6 and R15 selection. So this is also using the enumerator for the R15, so it's using the exact same value. So now I'm really confused. If the rig type is R15, else if it's R6. So for debugging purposes, else print. Okay, so we're not getting to that point, which is good. So we know that that works. This character is somehow 6. So we're not getting to that point either. Player join functions line 44. So it is being called. Print. This character is 15. This character is R15. Okay, so yeah, it's in the right category. So we know that the script is working up to this point. This is just the dictionary definition, so there shouldn't be any issues with that. It might be down here, because I'm not seeing any output for high. So why is this for loop not iterating the way it's supposed to? What if I set this to pairs and go from there? Okay, so now we see high 15 times. Yep. So instead of using iterator, you just have to use pairs. So the traditional method of going about this. That's fine. We can live with that. Also, if we know that that's working now, oh, okay, so it's not working now. Why is that? So the head mesh right now is 70993. On here, it is 70993. We'll do upper torso. This is 167. This is different. This is 71038, and the one now is 07167. That's very interesting. Okay, so we know that there's 15 segments to an R15 character. So every time I find one, I should see found the character part. So here's where we might be getting an issue. This is not being defined. So print, let's print each one of these. Print R15 mesh dictionary K. Print, I'm going to skip that for now because I don't want it to get. So we're getting the values and it's not finding the values. So what if I set it to B and just flip them? Argument 1 missing or nil? Hang on. I set this one down here. It should have been this one. This is nil. So no matter what I do, it's not going to find any one of these. So we have a problem. So can I do R15 mesh dictionary K dot base dot string concatenation should be no, because something is nil. Something's not being read. Very, 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 very interesting. These probably don't need to be... Oh no, yes, it does need to be a string because I'm using define first child, which takes in a string. Yep. Okay. So item name and item value. In pairs inventory. I'm just referencing the dev form at the moment. So this is exactly what it looks like on the other one. Print item value, item name. Oh, wait. I know what I need to do. This doesn't specify what it needs to be, because it could just be that. Attempt to concatenate string with nil. Somehow this got nil. Huh. Interesting. Left lower arm and the ID. So now we get that. Somehow, for whatever reason, that's the first one it decided to check for. Poke, did you see what I announced? Yes, I did. That I did. So we have left lower arm, so we're going to find the key. And this one is not defined, because it should just be... Thank you for that. This should just be V now. Okay, so then I can remove this, and this will work. The thread cannot write mesh ID, lacking capability, not accessible. Really? What's your opinion on it? I don't have any issues with that. What you decide there is up to you. What the hell did this just download to my computer? Just a file. Can I open it in Blender? It's a mesh. So, yeah. Also, wait, hang on. In game settings, isn't there specification for how the characters should be? Avatar type should be R15. Override player choice. This is for R6, so that's going to be disabled here. Hmm. I can set some restrictions on the scale. Also, what happens when I try to run this from the coroutine side now? Just want to see, because if I know this is throwing an error, I want to see how it outputs. An error occurred on a coroutine function in player join functions. The current thread cannot write mesh ID. Oh, great. The error reporting on the coroutines is fantastic. Just says, hey, there's a problem, and here's what the problem is. The current thread cannot write mesh ID. What would happen if you just deleted this? Let's use something identifiable, such as the upper torso. Ah, I see. So you would have to set it. So if I just copy the code of upper torso into here, what happens? Then it functions. So I can set it to Roblox asset ID instead of the whole link. Is there a lemon of how many models you can have in server storage? I'm going to guess that you mean limit. And however much your computer is able to handle, I would guess. Okay. Now if I do this, does it have access to it? It does. No, it doesn't. That errored. This is an interesting predicament. How do you remove the player packages? Let's get something more identifiable. Give me the give me the Roblox man map. Where's the man toward? I'm not gonna mess with the head. Does it fix this one? No. Lacking capability not accessible. Why is that? Let's look this error up and see what we get. Roblox. Lacking capability and not. Apparently, hmm, Apparently, mesh ID cannot be overridden by a script, which is stupid. Why can I not change the player's mesh? Hmm. Original head is game replicated storage. Default head mesh is head mesh mesh ID equals original head dot mesh ID. Ah, so nobody figured this out? So this wants me to make a special mesh to override the and then have to figure out how to weld it to the character. Oh my god. Why? Why can this not be just simple? Age mesh ID. Where's torso? What would happen if I did this? Nothing. Nothing happens. So, how do you remove R15 player packages then? If you can't override the mesh? We need a pre-made grenade stored in replicated storage where you can use grenade to clone, parent it where you need it. Copy the mesh instead of manually creating a new one. Um, why? Why this dumb? Unable to assign property to mesh ID. Could use insert service load asset and set all the properties. What? So yeah, I'm if you try to replace so the suggestions that I'm seeing, if you try to replace all of the mesh parts on the player with special meshes so that you can change the mesh ID, um it's going to require me to reassign all of the attachments and all of the welds that hold the player together. And that's a mess. That would cause way more issues. So apparently, we can't disable packages. But then, zero. Package 0 does not exist. I'm so... Because I know I can do this. I thought there was a remove package exam unless... I thought there was a remove package command unless it only works on R15. So this would have worked if mesh ID wasn't restricted. Remove R15 packages player. Humanoid description. Where's that? Here. I have face accessory and hair accessory. So this would be good because I can manage the all of that normally. 865 00054 left arm. Is that the same as the mesh ID? No. But I set these to 0. Apparently, it's supposed to work. So let me go to game settings really quick. Because maybe I can do this through here. I mentioned this before. Override player choice. Probably going to yell at me that these values are not valid. ID number cannot be empty. I just threw in a fucking 0. How is that not... Why is that not happy with me? Hmm. This is saying that I have to. Man. This is on the on player added function. And yes, Hack, I did see the thing about Linkin Park. Very expensive concert tickets. So I wonder. If I comment. See what we get. First, I have to get the humanoid. Still nothing. Body part description. That. Do they return? Yeah. This is not fun. I'm really lost. These people in the description are saying that works. I'm very, very lost right now. So get humanoid description from user ID, get from outfit ID, get humanoid or create create humanoid model. Apply description. There's a reset. Apply description. So humanoid description has get humanoid description from user ID. A get up. Create description, modify description. If humanoid, then all right, so this is the reliable way of getting this information. I know I've been sitting here for a little bit pondering about how I'm going to approach, so I haven't really been speaking out loud. I don't need this. And then there is might need the player being tossed in the input then. I'll just throw in both and see where this takes me. Player and character. And so when we apply the description, I need to then player load character with humanoid description. Does this work? If I apply the description and then load the character with that description. Apply description data model was not available. The fuck are you talking about? You are in testing mode. Any changes you make will not be saved. Thank you. Oh, not good. What happened? I think my Trello API just timed out. Calling a bunch of calls. I want that to only do one call. Because then it would just that information. That was really odd. It's trying to repeatedly load the character. For some reason. This is only being called once. This is commented out. So get apply description. We have that. User ID. Applying humanoid description. Humanoid apply description. Which is what I had here that caused an error. This would all make sure to do it like so. I think I know why that happened before. I need to load the change, but because this is in a function for player join and character added, it gets itself into an infinite loop. Humanoid apply description data model was not available. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, so maybe this is not happening. Players on play. So wait, if I copy this and then go to here, hang on. This is where we get the repeated spawning issue. Failed to apply character appearance, player not in world. Oh boy. So I think I see what's going on here. So what I should do is try to this into. We don't have a character. Can't get this information. Okay, so I see where this is a problem because I have to get the player's character information before the character's loaded and reference the character information to get that. That does not work. I see where this is an issue. Okay. So I might have to scrap this idea and just deal with it. Come back to it at a different time. There's no good way to remove player packages for an R15? That's crazy. Can't believe that's the case. Where is my... I don't know where my avatar settings went. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. So I'm going to be right back. All right. I absolutely needed that break because I think I just spent an hour and a half trying to do something that apparently Roblox doesn't let you do. So, yes. I change my. Oh, the fuck? Apparently, if you try to change the hue 6 manually, it kills your character. Uh, win? Question mark. So this time, this script is not gonna work, or at least that function is useless. I'm gonna keep it in though, so logic in case something changes or I find an easier way to do it. But I guess, like I said, there's no easy way to remove player packages on the platform. So now I'm really lost. It was so easy with R6 to prevent people from using packages, but I guess you can't do it. All right, so there's a lot of very complicated stuff in the current SoNY game that needs to be simplified. And we can thank Jamie for all of the hard work in that. Where is this function called? Or a button click. With a spawn assignment. Hmm. So this is handling all the logic of getting a player spawn. I see. So I have a script called give UIs. Some of this should probably be simplified. So for some of these things, I feel like what I should do. So let me change windows for a second so I can talk about this. So for some of these things, this is a system that gives the players who spawn in and go on the team their user interfaces. So it waits till the player's added and the character's added. In this case, I feel like, do I need to wait for the character to be added? Just for these UIs? Probably not. So I could do something along the lines of give UIs and give gear. And then have some smaller scripts inside of the UIs so that when they are given to the player, it sets it up automatically. Versus this script doing the work. Because all of like updating and things like that, instead of doing this is absolutely terrible. This is update MDT. This is being done on the server side when it should be done on the local. The MDT should update itself on the local side when it's given to the player. So the server's doing unnecessary work. For the rest of these, for all GUI names, so here's where an issue could come up. So this iterates through the GUI names. So I have the list of the different names of the UIs. And checks to see if it's in the player's UI list and then removes it. But what if one of your UIs breaks and you get duplicates? There should be some consideration for this. Because let's say if you have two MDTs somehow, it's guaranteed to happen in some way somehow where the Roblox system just dies. This should check to see if they have multiple. So maybe there should be a repeat here. So find first child, repeat, local GUI location equal nil, repeat. This until UI equal to nil. Because repeat should fire this first before making this check. But then I need to add this statement. So this would look like this. Let's see if it works. Well, there's no errors. All right. This is why scripting sucks, because I'm just spending hours doing like minor changes like this, and then I spent an hour and a half just to learn that I can't do what I want to do on the platform. Sucks. Nexus VR character model loader. I'm going to tinker with that a little bit too for the new version. So I'm thinking how I would set this up under the coroutine system. I wonder if I should set it up where um, it has two different functions, one for removing old UIs and one for giving new ones. But I mean, I could also make it. I could make it one. Call it like reset UIs or something like that. See, like cloning tools into the cloning the tool UI into the players is fine. So like these are fine. So these are just cloning the UIs and then giving them to the player. But here, update MDT. Why is this being done on the server side? There's no reason for this to be done on the server side. This should be done locally. But this is a problem. Because I think on my MDT system, function test. Yeah, the MDT, as far as its operation, has to be looked at. That should be event-based. It should be reliable. Not what it's doing. This should be called first. So let's try that. I'm going to comment out update MDT and throw this on its own script. Now, this is running from a server script, which I'm not very fond of right now, but I'd rather it run on the player side in the player's user interface screen versus on the general server. So it is still technically running server side, but I want to test this out. So we spawn in. I need to go find a firehouse. TOV Tahoe with a Ford startup sound. Not this way. Lock up. Used to be back there, but now it's not. All right, so if I go here. That doesn't look good. Uh, button handler or give all contexts. Let's look for error messages. Huh. This isn't good. This is not good. These are all the function calls. When a button is pressed, this should just call that to start. Why did I take the Silverado? Worst handling in the whole game for some reason. Never figured out why. Why is this not working? Yeah, I never figured out why this has issues with driving. I replaced the chassis on it with a brand new script. Was still not happy with me. Likes to spin out a lot. You know what? It might be too light. Maybe I have to add some mass. Maybe the parts are set to massless for some reason.
New York City Fire Department, dispatcher 115. What's your emergency?
That's working. I won't be able to add a new call for 5 minutes. Yep. Okay, so what the fuck? This is the exact same logic as what's on the other system. This whole thing needs to be redone. And I know the output is going crazy right now. It's because Studio doesn't like API calls to outside sources. Actually, since that's my test script. Oh shit. Did not do that. Okay. Observable value undefined. What the fuck is that? Roblox is breaking stuff on their end because that's not me. Now I'm really curious to see if this is even working in the dev test map. Which is why we had the dev test map. Because if this broke something, then I can easily revert the changes. But this is annoying. Also, I have no idea why the chat decided to hold the audio. I have no idea why the chat decided to start working on this stream, but just did not want to work on the other one. Let me create a call.
New York City Fire Department, dispatcher 115. What's your emergency?
Alright, so that just went through. If this works properly, it should display that call if I go on team. MDT should immediately come up with a fire alarm call when I open it. But then the next button is not working for some reason, and I have no idea why. Why is this broken? So confused. Okay. All this does... What is the relation to the fire system? This is just going from... This is going through the data folder. So there's no mention of just the fire system by itself. So weird. So weird. Watch, when I get rid of this function, it's gonna work again. Engine. I was clicking on the wrong button this whole time. Oh, I forgot. I changed it a long time ago. I'm such a fucking idiot. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Stream replay audio. Okay, what I was doing is trying to find a call box. So let me just hit the one up here. What do these two things have to do with each other? Workspace vehicle, civilian, poke-cop car body, and then tower ladder.
New York City Fire Department, dispatcher 115. What's your emergency?
Engine. Ladder.
57 Cinemax 1168. 545 9th Avenue, that's at West 87 and West 86 for a call flyer. 57 Cinemax 1168. 545 9th Avenue, that's at West
Yep, this is working.
86 for a call flyer. And 234 1454.
Yep, this is working. So I can switch between both calls. It comes up immediately with the active call. And this is the clear all button. So no issues there. Where's the available screen? Is it just, yeah, I didn't put the 10.8 text. So that's going to be another update for the redone NBT. Oh, man. I'm tired. This is the headache that I deal with. Scripting. Did I get anything that I wanted to get done? No. Did I realize that I have more work to do? Yeah. Okay, so for the this is all done exclusively in now this too should also be converted to a safe system because right now it's not. So that's something that's going to have to be worked on. The intro UI. Can I take this? Put it here on it. Where's that being run from? Uh, hmm. This is in server storage, so how is it being run again? It's been a while since I've tinkered with it. Okay, so it's being run off of here. Oh, wait, no. I know what that is. That's the old one. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't copy that. You don't want that. I would love to have all the tweening and the fancy shit that the old one had, but the new one is. But this is in replicated for some. Maybe. What happens if I throw this other new game? Say the other new game. Does it work? Can I just slap it into a place where it needs to be? Either we loaded. I see. Sweet. Any mentions of this? So the intro screen now has to wait for the phone system because it has to toggle it. Or the phone system priority, the Z index has to be. Oh, I'm going to need to think about that a little bit more. I'd write something down. So I have the stream as my notation. Okay, so if I can separate those two, it would be nice, but not a requirement. The phone UI in the other ones, I believe. I feel like I would like to see the intro UI run from starter GUI because that would make sense, but the loading for it has never worked in all of the implementation that I've tried to do with that. That's where I'm like kind of stuck right now on that. The phone UI is definitely going to go through a lot of changes. Because obviously the map is completely different, so that has to be updated. The time is going to be different, so that's going to be fine. I don't have to do all the complex wonky shit that I had to do last time. So that might be the thing that I work on. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so for the phone screen, copy this into starter UI for version 2. I'm expecting something to not work. But now the loading screen works because the phone's UI. This is going to show that I'm off the map. I'm out of range where it's expecting. Point. Global scale. In relation to the old map. Be around here. One GUI frame. Something that 1939. X chord is character torso position X and position. Ah, I see. So this isn't happy because it switched to R15 instead of R6. So if we call it upper torso, then it will work. And all of this is pretty efficient, that it only errors out when you're doing something stupid. Or, I'm sorry, when you're only in this particular application. So it'll only error on the application that's running. So the map is reversed in the coordinate systems. Right now I'm on the east side, but it's showing me on the west, because that's how the old map is, which is why I'm doing it. So in this case, the map screen is going to be very, very different. So let me upload what I have if I organization charts. Where's my 0 point? Should be the halfway point of the image. So let's upload to the home screen map app. Let's upload a new image there. Long fucking home screen map app rolling frame. Okay. So Roblox stuff, organizational charts, new SoNY map. Just for testing's sake. Okay. Now the old coordinate system is going to be very different. So let's just see how it goes right now. That didn't update whatsoever. We should be using the new one. View, toolbox, decals. Did that not go through? Asset manager, images, upload. Roblox. Charts. This will probably take a second because of how big the image is. So copy ID to clipboard. Okay, yeah, I think it was still using the old one because that's a huge number difference. We'll try that one more time. Yeah. Okay. So this is not reading correctly whatsoever. So our dimensions on this are a lot bigger, 12, 288, and 10, 240. So the x-coord would just be that x-coordinate I don't think we have to add any extra things. So now this puts me at the midway point. And if I move north, it goes south. That's, I think, because of... this system here. Comment that out. I don't know where my player icon is. Okay, so let's do some consideration here. If the x-coordinate is... What the fuck was that? Something just happened. I just heard 3 explosions. Third one was just now. I think somebody's lighting off fireworks. See if I hear another one. All right. So let me... Oh, there's a 4. Guess it's... Right, so the map functionality, we're adding, we have 71. I've divided by, not even close. What is that offset? I don't remember how I did the math here because I didn't leave any fucking comments on how that works. All right, so we'll figure it out. So x coordinate, if we just put it as the x and the y is the z. So the reason why I'm using y is because I'm switching to a 2D plane. So xy on the 2D plane is x and z on the 3D. If this is the position, I just want to see what happens when I start moving around, because there might be one quadrant that will work. Or the other three will not. So I just want to see if the icon appears on the screen. What the fuck? Okay. So right now I'm sort of between all of the quadrants. One that the... All right. Doesn't look like it. So let's make some decisions here. So in this case, we know that the positive coordinates. So let me get a part, right? New part. So if I go to 0, 0 on the position here, 0 on X and 0 on Z, that should put us directly in the middle of all these base plates. Yes. So if I decide to move it this way, this is a positive X side, and this should be... So this is a negative Z. Okay, so this is somewhat backwards. We can work with that. All right, so negative Z is vertical. So that should be our low numbers. Oh, wait, no, this might add up perfectly, actually, because then the top left is the negative side. Ah, okay. So this would be anywhere from 0 to 0.5 at 0, at the 0 coordinate. So the 0 coordinate would be halfway on the UI, so that would be 0.5 from 0 to 1. And then this would be the positive from the 0.5 to 1, and then this here would be the 0.5 to 1, the other axis. Okay, so let's see how I can work with that. So if my position is negative, that means that my coordinate must display from 0.5 to 0. Also, let me see where I got these numbers from on the 5223 14371. 5223 14371. So this is just divided by the size of the map in pixels. So if I have this one now, 12288 and 10240. 12288, 10240. Let's uncomment this and see where that leads. I am not present on the display. Still trying to see if at any point it will appear. The zoom function does work. I do want to modify the zoom in and out function so it goes to where your cursor is. All right, so that's not working. Now I have to figure out why. I was going to do print X chord, Y chord, but it's already here. The debugging system is already present. Also not working. Why is that not working? So this here is the offset for the size of the icon that tells you what your location is, along with the coordinates. Why is this not displaying anything? Should update with what my coordinates are. Did I spell upper torso correct? Like, what's going on here? Let me use the position of the head. That would be consistent between both R15 and R6. So this should display when the map is open what my character position is. But it is not doing that. I'm not sure why. 12,288. Yep, and 10,240. Very confused right now. Let me add the original logic and see what is the 2611 and the 7185. Let me open up paint.net because I think I had this all drawn out. Map center point, outline, street names, midpoint dot layout. So let me figure out the 2611. Where's that XY's 2611? That's the distance to the center point. How I wanted the map to display. What about the... Because this old map had an offset, which this new one does not. And then the 7185... So wait, if I... Where's that center point? No, it's somewhere in Central Park. Hi, Indiana. 26117185. So that is the center point pixel. So all I have to do is take those two numbers and divide them by 2. Divided by half of pixel size. Okay. So let's make a new value called map x size and set this to 12 to 288 or 12 288, and then map y size is equal to 10240. So now we take that and divide by these numbers, and then I think it's add the value plus equals x chord plus equal half of map x size. So this would be map x size divided by 2. And the same thing for y. So this would be plus equals map y size divided by 2. Curious to see what that gets. Nothing. Nothing productive whatsoever. How detailed can I get? Scale it. Yeah. Not entirely clear, but doable. Okay. So let's calculate what this would give us. So what's the location of that spawner? That spawn location. Fuck up. Pager. Okay, so the spawn location is 2579 negative 87. 2579 negative 87. So if I take that number, 2579 2579 plus, so let's just follow the math real quick. In this case, this would be the x coordinate divided by the map size. So 2579 divided by map size. So this would give us 2579 divided by 12288. So that's 0.2. Then you add half the map size. And here it's 1 minus that. Okay. So I didn't do that part. This might work because I feel like I'm close to 0.2 out of 1 from the edge of the map. Right? Because if this, let's say this where this road is 0.5, this would be around 0.2. It's like just close to the halfway point, which would be 0.25 between those two areas. So that would be 0 on the end, and then so forth. So the math is probably not mathing, but I see what I kind of where I need to go. Okay, so if this is not showing me where the cursor is, can I please look that up? Where is the cursor for the map? Where is it? Position 0.5 minus 10, 0.5 minus 36. That's sitting at the halfway point. And it's not updating at all. Why is it not updating? Let's go back to the phone. Where's the position set? Here. X chord minus 10, Y chord minus 36. Um, so if I have a negative axis, what if I multiply it by 2 and then turn it into a 0 to 1 scale by dividing that in half later down the line, but now I'm getting rid of the negatives? So essentially, I add double the size. All right, so hear me out. Take this plus map size. Cut that in half. Now I've cleared the negative axis. Do any rounding and then figure it out. I don't know if I need that side. Because then if I'm in the location where I'm at, that would be about 3/4 of the way across the map. So this would be on the 0 to 1 scale, what I'm looking for. I'm coming up with shit as I go and hoping it works. But I know what I need to do. Okay, so maybe if I graphically display this, it would make some sort of sense. All right, so here's the map. So if I draw, if we have the center point, okay, center point is here. And I have a cross of where that center point is. So this side, use the paintbrush tool with a big brush. New map work? Kind of. Okay. So this is the negative. Is the brush tool not brushing? Why? Oh, it's because I'm selected on something. So this is the -1 y-axis. This is the +1 y-axis. This is the +1 x-axis, and this is the -1 x-axis. So this would be, in terms of the UI, I need this part to be 0. I'm sorry. 0.5. This part would be 0. This part would be 0. And the rest of these can stay 1. So for the UI, that would be 1, and this would be 1. How do I do this conversion? Because I thought I could double the scale of the map, so that's accounting for both axes. Six one four four. So that's my half on the X side. Very lost. Very lost right now because I see this graphic image in my head, what I've just drawn out. Now, how do I convert that to fundamentals in mathematics? I know the answer is probably very straightforward, but I got to think about this. I need to turn the negative numbers positive, which could be done using absolute value. The problem with that is that would overlap the typical positive coordinate. So if I'm at -2000, it would just become 2000, which would put me at a completely different place on the map. Unfortunately, my print statements that are supposed to be working are also not, unless they were, and my filter was on. Oh, here we go. Now I can actually see what it's displaying. God damn. All right. Now it's running just for me standing in place. See what it comes out with. So actual position is this, which is what I said before, and modified position is that. Probably not what I'm looking for. Because the modified position should turn this number into something. So I just realized this is doing the same thing. This is adding the map size. This is adding half the map size. So that's not needed. So we have that. So if we add the map size, then y chord and x chord divide by 2. What do we get now? Okay, 7,433 and 5,070. If I divide it by 2 and then take the size, divide it by that number. X chord equals X chord divided by map size. Y chord divided by Y size. That is a more promising number. 0.6. Okay, I see it. And 0.4. Slightly above the... Okay, this is good. Does it display where I'm at? In. It's close. This is saying I'm on the other side of Park Avenue, but it has me on the right block. But it is moving with me. I should be about 2 blocks over. Slightly further down. So, yeah. My logic is getting somewhere. My logic is indeed getting somewhere. How do we resolve this? Just for fun, let's try the 1 minus method. See if it does a flip. Now it's got me all the way over there. If I walk north, it's going to take me south. If I walk south, it's going to take me north. So that's the reverse of that. So we're not looking for something like this. Okay. Because what I did here was added the offset of the map. Which would be, in my case, it would be the halfway point of the map. So maybe something like this. And you don't need this. Divide that by map size. Okay. Gotten somewhere. Now if I walk over to 3rd Ave, I'll actually be on 3rd Ave. Just doesn't have the vertical position. Three. Okay. So why is the vertical position messed up? I think it's because I'm on the negative side. So if I go to the negative side, I don't know if it will work. Horizontally speaking, we look okay. But vertically speaking, it's not. Hello, Jorah. This is where 54 house should be. It says I'm all the way at Madison Square Garden. But it does say that I'm on 9th Ave, which is correct. So, yeah, X-Wise is fine. Y is not. I'm curious as to why. Why is this the case? Could I try the subtraction method if I maybe invert the axis? Will it work? Will it bring me to where I need to go? Nope. That's way too far above. That also reversed my direction of movement. So that's definitely not what we're looking for. So that reversal of direction of movement is because the old map was backwards. So I wonder, is it something with the display itself? Let me see if there's any offset with the frame. The size is a set size. Scrolling frame is fit to the whole of the previous one. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so it's nothing related to that. Fill type on that should be fit, not stretch. So why is the y-axis not good, but the x-axis is fine? I didn't mix up any. Oh, wait. Hello, there it is. That should be a y, not an x. Now it's okay. Now it should display where I'm at. I do need to make the zoom, like, zoom into where your icon is. That's going to take a little bit of math. All right, I have an issue because it's close, but not quite. This says I would be there instead of here, like 1 block off. Why is this the case? The movement is also way more dramatic because I should be put at 57th Street and I'm not. But if I cross the threshold, yeah. So Y is still messed up with the scale factor. X seems to be fine. This is a block off. Okay. So did I put in the right numbers? 10240. That's correct. Y coordinate is the map Y size divided by 2 equals this divided by map Y size. We round this. I'm not sure what else can be done to fix that. If I'm at 145, um, hmm. Is saying 145 is close to 0.5? No way. What happens if I go to dead center? Watching those numbers there. So Y I'm at 0 or close to it. X it says I'm 300 off. This way. It's right about here. But this display seems off. Because where's that 0 point here? Sits by the marking for Rockefeller Center. Okay. So it is where it needs to be. Then something like 59th Street. That is 3904 out of 10 to 40. 3904 divided by 10. Wait. 0.38. So this is saying that this is 0.38. Hmm. And it could be due to the aspect ratio. So if the X size, you know what? Let's do the Y size. Or unless, no, hang on. Which one do I change for zooming? Offset. This is very repetitive. There's probably a better way to do it. So we'll have to take a look at that. Hmm. Okay. So, let me get my ratio calculator. So if I have 150 is to the X size of the map, which is 12288, then 10 to 40 is 125. So this could be part of it too. 125. Oh no, I'm in the wrong game. 125. I think that's based on the ratio of the original map, which the new one does not follow. And now I can't drag this at all. Oh, wait, there we go. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. All right, so let's take a look at this. My position is 2-6. Go once. Huh. I'm very lost. as to why this won't display correctly. I will figure it out. It's going to be something stupid. $12,288X 10,241. Okay. This way. 40 if I 1228. 12288. X chord map X side. Chord map. Rounding's fine. But the math is not. The problem is somewhere within these two lines. Within one of these sets of two lines. Because the Y's scale factor is just way too much. Oh, crap. Do that. I wanted to pull up the phone coordinate. Okay, so this is saying that this should be 0.492. Okay, so that was based on the negative 86. And the spawn pad is just across the street from the fire station. So approximately, this is 5026, 5026 divided by, and then that would be my overall map height, which is 10,240.49. And that's what this says it came up with, 0.492. Point 492 seems a little bit off. I don't know if it's due to how the negatives are working there or what. Or maybe don't even use that at all. Why is it still off? It says I should have just passed 57th Street right now. 57th Street is right there. Now it says I should be off the map when I'm still on it. Unless there's some kind of inconsistency here. Are they both lined up with each other? That could be a pretty significant issue. Has something shifted here? So maybe we can figure this out. Let's add a 4x4 part at 0, 0 because we're working on an even scale, so I just have to do this. Okay. Now, if I move this anywhere, I'm between 51st and 48th. How much space do I have? Halfway point here. This says 97. That says 97. 48th and which is exactly where it needs to be in the paint on that template. So I'm so confused as to why the scale is not where it needs to be. '57th. This is basically pulling up the same thing. But I set this to a square. This is something worth investigating more further into. This whole thing could probably be changed to be way more efficient. This was more of just make it so it works type of thing. Yeah, I'm not sure why this doesn't work. That is not where I am. Zero point is on the O of south of 51st Street. Yes, yes, it is. I'm sitting at 0.0, or I'm sorry, sitting at 0.5. How long have I been on here for? Almost 4 hours. Holy crap. All right, so I've learned a lot today. So I need to figure out a solution for the map issue. We cannot change packages for R15 characters. That sucks. Spent a lot of time doing that. The user interface assignment system for the MDT needs a lot of, or actually the MDT itself needs a lot of script adjustment. But the MDT now auto updates off of the MDT script instead of the server GUI giver. I'm okay with that. So these are the, I'm at a, I don't feel like I've made a lot of physical progress today as far as, making a great system that, works and does what it's supposed to. But I am tinkering around with different things and trying to figure out what is working, what is not working, and go from there. I don't necessarily have a solid plan when it comes to the scripting, especially for the map system right now, because this is just more of like an ad hoc work on the phone system to get the mini map working for the new game. But I do need to reevaluate how I've done this in general uh, to make it easy to understand and easy to calculate. But my logic, I feel like, is sound. And if it's not, then if anybody has any suggestions or feedback, let me know. Like taking the scale of the map, um, adding half of that scale to eliminate the negative zones, right? Per that chart that I had up from paint.net. So that would be here. Okay. Turning the negative coordinates into zero, the zero side, and then the positive coordinates to the one side. I'm not sure why this isn't working the way that I'm expecting it to. The x-axis is fine. Like it's lining up with the streets and all that very well. But the y-axis scale factor was not helping me even when I had it set separately like this. I don't know why. Still puts me vertically where I'm not. This says that I should be back there. So from a zoomed out perspective, it's close. But here, this is definitely not right. So yeah, there's definitely some more logic that needs to be figured out there. So yeah, it's it's time for that revamp process to really take effect now because these scripts are in need of so much work. So much work. So, yeah, this is where I'm at. Since I've been streaming for about 4 hours now, I'm going to end the stream, eat some dinner. I might be on voice chat for a little bit in the SoNY Discord, so if you're interested in that, check it out. You can find a link to it through my Discord in the description. Normally, I would attach the SoNY information to an SoNY stream, but I did not do that this time, so that was on me. So you can find it through my YouTube Discord, which is in the description below. But yeah, I'm gonna go find something to eat, and I'll probably be on later on after I finish that. So thank you all for sticking around. For those of you who have, even if it was just for a little while, I appreciate that. And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.